Got 10 contracts on here. Gonna see if we can flush the lows. Looking at that liquidity there. We can run through that 70, 23, 24 liquidity. I think $70 is in the cards. If we push through that level there, I may add to this position. Pure liquidity play here. See how we do if we get through 70.20. What that looks like. Take that prior low. So we look strong here, moving to the downside. Going to add to this position. 104 contracts there. On the way to $70. Not quite kind of a pivotal spot right here if we can push through this low. Watching that liquidity. Let's go. Come on. So see how we take that liquidity. May propel us lower. Want my stop right there inside the entry. See if that liquidity propels us lower. Adding 10 more. contracts. There's a little more room to breathe now that I've added to it. Risking 3,300. Trying to push towards 7,700 profit. That's all contingent on that liquidity there. Just added 10 more. Looking for the push. A little bit of liquidity just below 70.10, but if we're going to push this, I think we run towards 70 bucks. Current position is risking 5,800. Looking for a profit at 10.7. Got to push through that prior low there. $70.20. See if we run this liquidity. Just like what I'm seeing for the moment, so I'm not certainly not prepared to prematurely exit this trade. You could go after $70 here. Seller's got to get aggressive. This is where people get antsy, right? You're sitting, you're waiting, we're going to run the prior lows, we're going to take the liquidity, we're going to run at $70. This is where a lot of people start getting, fidgety. They start making irrational decisions. You can't make irrational decisions while you're trading. You got to stay calm, cool, collected. You have a plan, right? You have a target of $70. Why? It's a round number. There's liquidity there, okay? If we're going to run the lows, 70-20. We don't get immediately rejected. There's a fairly good chance that we run towards $70. Got to be patient about it. Got to be willing to wait for it. Now, when you find the setup that you like, you got to be willing to hold for the big win, right? Like, sure, I could take my profit now, $1,400, and go, all right, it's a good trade. You can't risk $5,800 to take profit at $1,400, right? Unless the market gives me some reason to believe that there's no chance of it going lower. I can't cut that. I can't cut it short. I gotta let the potential transpire. A lot of traders, they think if they take one-to-one trades, they're going to do okay. And you might for a short period of time until you hit a crap streak. And you will. Every trader does. you're going to hit a streak where things don't go your way so quick and efficiently. And then all of a sudden you go on this losing streak. And then you start revenge trading. And that becomes very dangerous very quickly. So we tapped a little bit of that liquidity. Still got a few ticks to get through. And then below that, I think we got a clear shot towards $70. We close below 70.20. My plan would then be to move my stop to break even. And at 70.10, potentially even start taking some profit. Just thinking out loud, giving you my thought process. And I have no real reason to exit this trade at the moment. I have to give the sellers a chance to try to push through that prior low. Some trades you'll place, it will transpire very quickly. Right? You'll feel like, oh my God, I just hit the lottery. Right? In other trades, you have to give a little bit of a chance to transpire. You have to let the market participants, follow through with whatever you believe their anticipation to be. Right? When I place a trade, I'm not large enough. My clientele is not large enough to collectively move a market. But if I place a trade alongside the intention of the market, I have a fairly decent chance of trying to participate in a particular move. Just revisiting that little stack of liquidity. I'm looking for the push through that. That's what's going to take us lower here. If it happens. Right? There's no guarantees in trading. It may not happen. But if I'm reading the intent of the other market participants properly, right, there you go. Just took most of that liquidity. It's disappeared off the book map there. Okay. Got to push 70.20. Still not through the prior low quite yet. Keep in mind, your job as a trader is to interpret the intent of other market participants, right? Because other market participants collectively are basically what moved the market. Other market participants collectively move the market. Getting a little kickback off that liquidity there. Got some more overhead, 70.35. It's just about where our entry is. So if we pushed back, still got a chance to push lower. Some strong orders filled there at 70.25. So knowing that plays a role. And in breaking that 70.25, particularly closing below it, could start stacking the odds in our favor of that continuation towards $70. Pushing back to that 70.25 level. I want to see it push through it. I need a close below 70.20. Dancing on that 70.25. Big liquidity still down there at $70. Let's go. Gotta run the low here. Come on. Gotta run the low here. Still strong orders being filled at 70.25. I'd like to see it close below that. This next 5-minute candle in about 90 seconds. Really would prefer a close below 70.20. I think that opens the floodgates here to go lower. After that 70 liquidity, you can see it on the bottom of the book map there, bright red. I would like a smoke show push here. I mean, I want a big old candle, run the low nice and hard. Still holding the low, 70.20. A little bit of liquidity at 70.20, not a ton, a little more, just under 70.10. The big numbers down there on the way to $70. Remember, if I don't have a reason to exit the trade early, I'm not going to. And I have to see if my read on the market continues to transpire. If it doesn't, or there's now leads me to believe that it's not going to, that's when I'm prepared to cut my loss and get out of it. We've walked kind of slowly right back into the session low. We're either going to get rejected hard or we're going to push through it hard. Based on the candle read and the liquidity, you could see on the book map, $70. That's the target. Bright red, currently 124 contracts. Little bit of liquidity, 70.08, 70.05. Big number, there's $70. Again, really want to see it close below 70.20. Still got some aggressive orders being filled at 70.25. Volume is lightening up a little bit. My hope here, pushing the low, is we're going to push it aggressively and get some fairly quick follow through as we've kind of dragged our feet here getting back into it. So just pushed it a little bit there, 70.18 at 70.20 right now. couple orders there. This last candle's giving me a little bit of cause for concern. Just as we push the prior low. Still like to stay below 70.25. That would keep me pretty comfortable. Candle's going to close in about 30 seconds. Don't really care for it. Gonna see if we can still stay below 30 there. Got some liquidity popping up there on the book map. You can see we got 79 overhead right where our entry is. Don't want to discount the fact that we can't push there, take that liquidity, and then still push lower. We're holding higher time frame resistance at the moment. Some pretty aggressive numbers there. But I'm not necessarily spooked out of this trade at the moment. You have to expect pushback when you take a prior low, especially the session low. Right? Have to expect that. It's totally normal. $124 contracts down there, $70. Still in the cards as far as I'm concerned. I'm looking for a smoke show candle here. I'm looking for a big push. I want to see that thing dump right into $70. Looking for that liquidity. There's almost nothing standing between it. This market's going to close here in about 45 minutes. I think if we're going for it, we're going to go for it sooner than that. I don't think it's going to take us 45 minutes to get there. About halfway there. Gotta be aggressive when you're breaking a prior low. 100 contracts down there. All right, sellers gotta want it. Not just a prior low, a session low. Right, session low on high selling volume. So we're pushing a volume climax right now. Taking 70.15 there. I've gone 1-to-1. I'm going to now advance my stop here. Just slightly in the profit. At this point, if we're going for $70, any corrections should stay below 70.30, ideally 70.25. Testing 70.20 right now. Ideally, you want to see this candle hold and close below 70.20. That's what we've been kind of waiting for here. This next candle, we want to see a quick flush. Got to overtake that wick on that last candle there. Fairly clear shot here to $70. Still looks okay liquidity wise, unless we get an aggressive correction, which is always possible. Really want to see a break of that last candle low, so that means taking us below 70.13. That tells me the sellers are still interested pushing lower. I'm at $5,000 here. I think I'm going to take a little off just in case we get some serious pushback here. Watching the order flow, watching the tape, time and sales, seeing who's crossing the bid-ask spread, monitoring the footprint chart. 70-20, not a bad spot if we can keep going lower. Hold that prior low. I like the read here, as long as we can break 70-13. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to scale a little bit out just to be safe. I want to run my stop too tight. I'm going to cover 10 here. Try to buy 10 more at 70-10. Run my stop here to 70-25. Just because I am concerned about pushing above that level. If it takes me out, so be it. Coming up on 2 o'clock here. Been in this trade now for about 45 minutes. Locked in a little bit of profit here, a little over 1,600, and we have about 2,100 at the stop. So we're 3,500 in the profit if this trade goes against us. Alright, we're doing this because we're seeing reasons to believe that we're having a hard time here getting lower. Like 70-13 there. It's like a pretty firm low. That's going to be a hard one to push through. If we do, I think we'll take that, start heading towards that liquidity at $70. I'll cover 10 more contracts if we push to 70-10. Again, just locking it in along the way. But if we get kicked back here, 70-25, we'll just exit the trade there at about $2,100 additional to the $1,600 we've already locked in. This market has sold off a long way today, a long way. But I am concerned that we may push back to that 70.36 liquidity, which is our entry. And rather than be greedy, I'm just going to be conservative. See if we can get this continued push. I like this candle printing right now. It's still got about another minute and 10 seconds before it closes. I don't dislike where the orders are getting filled in that candle. A little kickback there. That I'm protecting myself because there is liquidity at our entry, 70.36. Keep in mind we averaged into that entry. We continue to add to the position starting with 10, 20, 30 contracts. Don't like what I'm seeing. This is why I'm protecting myself. If we get stopped out, it's okay, because if all goes wrong, it doesn't matter anymore, right? The market gave me a reason to believe that it was time to advance my stop. In doing so, I protected myself because the market provided evidence. And if you're going to trade, right, if you're going to be a trader, you must work with the evidence that the market provides. How do you learn to understand that evidence? It's an investment of time. Right? Time being an observer of the market. You're going to watch the market. You're going to take notes. You're going to learn from the market. You're going to learn to identify the intent of the market. And that is how you execute trades, because you have put the time in. Nobody is an expert at what they do unless they've invested 10,000 hours into that art or skill set. Trading is a skill set. Reading and understanding the intent in the market is a skill set. So make sure that you're willing to invest that time and energy rather than just saying the market's rigged against me, because the market's not, right? You must invest the time that it takes. You must not get frustrated. You must be willing to go through the learning process like anything else that you've done in your lifetime. So hope you guys enjoyed watching this trade transpire. You saw me enter, you saw me average in, you saw me average my way out, pay and protect myself based on the evidence the market provided. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it. Feel free to leave a comment below. Be happy to interact with you. And I will put a link below that you can send me an email, visit my website, learn more about how I can help you move along that journey much more quickly by providing you with the tools and insight that will help you see the market through a veteran's eyes. God bless, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day.